to put this short video together. I was trolling through Facebook and I saw this meme pop up, A Tale of Two States, and obviously these COVID data is being politicized and there's bias and spin and everything. But I'd seen negative reports, and I'd just recently been talking to a guy about the numbers of Florida. The COVID numbers, the totally I don't know, incredible rate of daily increases of cases. And New York has historically, been one of the hot spots. So, not saying this should be taken as fact, but I did go and on Monday I went and pulled up data for those states, and then also did my state as well. Threw it in there. Let's see if we can get a little. What's this give us? That's a little better. All right. So, crap. Okay. No. Okay. Never mind. Okay. So, the state of New York. This is the data. I got this data off the COVIDtracker.com, and these were the most recent update dates at the time. I think I put this together on Monday. Today is Wednesday, July 22nd. So New York, yeah, population 19 million plus. Florida's population 21 million plus. Through a population densities there, just as a comparison. At the time, total tests given, total cases, total deaths. The percent positive, that is, of people tested, how many were, what percent are positive, end up being positive cases anyway. And then the percent of death, and that's of the total cases, the deaths divided by the cases, time, expressed as a percent, and this is the death percent of 6.15. Now that seems pretty high. So if I was in the state of New York, I would probably even specifically more like New York City area, I would feel, probably threatened by COVID. And then the state of Florida, has more population, a little less dense. Hasn't done quite as much testing yet. Does still have fewer cases, but not so many fewer cases really. But significantly fewer deaths so far. That's the percent positive rate, and the death rate is a lot lower at 1.44%. And then my state, where I live, and this is why, kind of probably shows why maybe I don't get the feeling that COVID is such a big deal or a thing. Much lower population, not quite 7 million there, much lower population density. We've just done this much testing. This is our total cases. And at the time, this was the total deaths, and we had come out with about a 1.06% death rate, I guess, is the way I'm calculating it. And so a lot of disparity here. So just want to look at it, right? If you get diagnosed with COVID in the state of New York, you are 6 times more likely to die than in the state of Tennessee. And I know there's a lot of, who knows how many factors go into what accounts for these numbers, but I'm just saying if you're just going to look at this as it is, and to believe these numbers are just accurate, correct, whatever, valid, then, if you're in the state of New York, you get diagnosed positive, you become a COVID case, you're just 6 times more likely to die. Some other things I threw in here were this is data, this is more like based on historical data, and a common number used is just the death rate per 100,000. That's just, any given year, and, all the things that kill people or people die from. This is the number per 100,000. Surprisingly, if you live in the state of Tennessee, I don't know, you're much more likely to die on average, which I don't know, I found that really surprising. I don't know what goes, what drives those numbers, but that's just the way it is. So, but if you take that average annual death rate per 100K, apply it to the population, this is kind of a number of what, just death, all death, right? Expect in a year for the state of New York, for the state of Florida, and for the state of Tennessee. And then you just divide those numbers by 12, and that's what you can expect per month relatively in these states. I think another data source, I look at my state data a lot. I found another one that really made it more look like it'd be more like 5,800, but we'll go with this 5,065. And then just just using the round number of 4 months, you know, divided the actual COVID deaths divided by the number four, and that's the COVID deaths per month. So I get how like looking at New York, you could feel like this is a extreme, this is about how the average death, and this is how many deaths per month they have of COVID. It looks like they're gonna have more deaths. I mean, it could be. Unfortunately, we won't probably have that total data. It could be like 2022 before they have a total death numbers for the year 2020. Um, but here, like in my state, and maybe even in Florida, it doesn't seem so bad if you consider that what they've said all along, what they freely admit to in the news, that most of the, by and large, the overwhelming majority of people who die of, COVID, labeled as COVID death, had a lot of other, they're generally older, over 65. A lot of them, big chunk of that, over 75. And what we don't know, we can't know, and is how many of those people would have died had they gotten the flu or pneumonia or any other type of infection or just an injury. Who knows? We just don't know. But anyway, that's just kind of a look at those three states, and draw your own conclusions how you want to draw them. But still pretty interesting to me to say that, yeah, if you get COVID in the state of New York, because a COVID case is a COVID case and a COVID death is a COVID death, you are 6 times more likely to die. Interesting. So I'm going to stop this right here.